Justice Elizabeth Gwaunza today swore in 30 judges across the Superior Courts following their appointment by President Emmerson Mnangagwa. Local government minister says the city of Harare is sitting on about 5,000 house demolition orders amid growing concerns over unregulated settlements and construction on wetlands. In sport, FC Platinum are pinning their hopes of finishing the season with a silverware on the Monomotapa Cup. Now we take a look at the stories in detail. President Mnangagwa this Thursday presided over Midlands State University's 27th graduation ceremony, where he conferred degrees and diplomas on 7,888 students. Of the total graduates, 55% were females and 45% were males. 6,631 students graduated with honors degrees, while 1,027 received master's degrees. Number who graduated with a Master of Commerce degree in Strategy and Innovation. Graduating students came from the faculties of Agriculture, Environment and Natural Resources Management, Arts and Humanities, Business Sciences, Education, Engineering and Geosciences, Law, Medicine and Health Sciences, Science and Technology, Social Sciences, and the Built Environment, Art, as well as Design. Meanwhile, President Emmerson Mnangagwa has appointed 30 new judges across the country's superior courts. Chief Justice Elizabeth Gwaunza swore in the new judges at the Constitutional Court of Zimbabwe in Harare this Thursday. This comes on the back of recent constitutional amendments that grant the executive powers to directly appoint senior judicial officers. Now, the following report breaks down what this means for the bench. Chief Justice Elizabeth Gwaunza led the swearing-in proceedings for 30 judges appointed by President Emmerson Mnangagwa across 4 tiers of the country's superior courts.
In accordance with Section 180, Subsection 2 of the Constitution, the President has appointed Antonia Buawa as Judge of the Constitutional Court. Now, therefore, I, Elizabeth Gwaunza, Chief Justice of the Republic of Zimbabwe, do hereby call upon Antonia Buawa to take the judicial oath.
At the apex level, Supreme Court judges Guvawa and Bono move up to the Constitutional Court. 7 judges step into the Supreme Court, while High Court leadership sees Justice Muzenda installed as Judge President alongside Deputy Judge President Filda Muzofa, leading a fresh complement of 17 judges.
I will make sure that I deliver my judgments timelessly, and to make sure that whenever I'm dealing with a matter, I am a servant of the facts and the law, and to make sure that at the end of the day, justice is dispensed to the people.
While the promotions clear vacancies at lower courts, they simultaneously establish a newly aligned bench at the country's highest appellate levels. The Judicial Service Commission is expected to outline how the remaining vacancies created at the lower court levels will be filled in the coming weeks. Now, Vice President Dr. Kemba Mohadi has commended local livestock breeders for making great strides in improving the genetics and quality of animals being produced in Zimbabwe. Dr. Mohadi was speaking during a tour of various stands at the Zimbabwe Agricultural Show in Harare this Thursday, where he visited the livestock section and assessed a range of cattle, goats, sheep and rabbits. The Vice President also commended the growing use of technology across the agricultural sector, saying innovation is increasingly helping farmers move beyond traditional production methods. He pointed to technologies such as hydroponics, as well as improved methods of feeding and breeding livestock, saying these developments show that agriculture is increasingly being driven by technology and commercial value.
You know, we've always encouraged the triple Ps. That is private-public partnerships. And what we have seen here, the technology has started playing quite an important role. Initially, before we came to this section, we saw those hydroponics. How the hydroponics were actually used in different ways, where they actually feeding fish, and at the same time taking the ammonia waste back into the plants, and that is something of a kind. I don't think many people are aware of that and are doing that.
5 days into the Zimbabwe Agricultural Show, and for many visitors, the biggest attraction is not what they can buy, but what they can see, hear, and experience. From the sound of marching bands and police sirens to snakes, livestock, and virtual reality, the show is giving visitors plenty to stop for, stare at, and talk about. Faith Nyaude takes us through some of those exhibits.
It is the Zimbabwe Agricultural Show, and it's still ongoing, it's still continuing, with some stands just proving to be crowd pullers. The one right here, the Zimbabwe Republic Police stand, is proving to be one of those, with so many people coming in to experience something they would never otherwise experience on a normal day.
Ndakakwira mudhudhudhu papolice ndakanzwa kufara. Mwana wangu ari kufara singaita. Ndo first time yake kuya kushow. Saka ari kunakidzwa mukati meso munhu achitomutora mapicture achita sei achiona achidzidza.
Beyond the main showgrounds arena, another stand that people have found hard to miss. The Zimbabwe Prisons and Corrections Band has become part of the soundtrack. The Zimbabwe Defense Forces stand has also been popular among the children who get to be taught about guns and other work of the armed forces.
First time kuona masoja chimacha kupindo mundega yanga zvakachinakidza kuona masoja chimacha first time. It was my first time, so today I enjoyed.
Kufutuko ndambovhunduka ndazoyara nevana apa ndaona muri kupindwa vacho makange musango kudidi ndikati vana chienda ita todzidzawo zvimwe zvatadzidza zvatatingazivi tinongodziona mota idzodzidzi tisingazivi chiri kuchiitika.
At the Zim Park stand, the excitement takes a very different form, with visitors gathering around the snake exhibit. For some, it is curiosity. For others, perhaps a little courage, but few seem willing to simply walk past. And then there is the livestock section. Cows, goats, rabbits, and plenty of excited faces. For children especially, something is fascinating about seeing these animals up close beyond the pages of a textbook or the screen of a phone. At the virtual reality attractions, visitors are swapping the real world for digital adventures. And perhaps that is what makes day 5 at the agricultural show so colorful.
Miss out.
Faith Nyaude, they're giving us a colorful piece. Now, Newsplus returns after these messages. Stay with us. Welcome back to Newsplus here on ZTN Prime. Now, government has surveyed more than 4.2 million hectares under its title deed program, with the initiative transforming land tenure by providing farmers with secure and transferable ownership documents that can unlock access to finance and stimulate investment in agriculture and the broader economy.
The program is reshaping the agricultural landscape, with large-scale commercial holdings declining by 62.6%, while small-scale agricultural holdings have expanded. As of 24 August, over 27,000 plots have been surveyed and about 10,000 mapped, with title deeds providing farmers with secure tenure and the ability to use their land as collateral.
Today, 350 traditional large-scale commercial.
Every parcel is uniquely identified. Every boundary is digitally captured. And every title deed begins with a verified from guesswork, because every title deed is anchored on a survey diagram.
Beyond ownership, Uga said the program is also critical in driving rural industrialization and creating opportunities for farmers.
Agriculture will cause the registration of 24,000 companies out of the 24,000 A2 farmers, because agriculture indeed has become a business and it must be looked at as a business.
The ultimate goal, government says, is value, with an estimated 20 billion that could be unlocked as land ownership becomes more secure. The title deed program is strengthening land tenure, boosting investment, and supporting the commercialization of agriculture. For ZTN Prime, I am Mashudu Mambo in Harare.
Now, the city of Harare is sitting on about 5,000 demolition orders amid growing concerns over illegal settlements and construction on wetlands. Speaking during the Land Tenure High-Level Stakeholder Breakfast meeting this Thursday, local government minister Daniel Garwe says government is concerned by the proliferation of unregulated settlements, warning that such developments could create serious public health and environmental risks. He says government has, in some cases, sought to delay the demolitions while looking for possible solutions. Minister Garwe added that rapid urbanization is contributing to overcrowding in some urban areas, with rural to urban migration putting additional pressure on cities such as Harare. He says empowering communities in rural areas
to go and stop a bulldozer from demolishing a home and bound by the loss of land, but people do not listen to that. So please, be the ambassadors for His Excellency in the expiece of land, but people do not listen to that. So please, be the ambassadors for His Excellency in explaining to our neighbors and our relatives that let's not buy land from land barons.
Elsewhere, for years, children in Sherwood East, Chirumanzu Zimbabwe constituency have been walking long distances to school, with some risking their lives crossing the busy Harare-Bulawayo highway. But that is now changing as the local church constructs the Diana Mafidi primary and secondary schools, bringing education closer to the community. The project is being funded by the Zion Christian Church ZCC. Our correspondent Paddington Muguti gives us more.
According to the Constitution of Zimbabwe, every child has a right to basic education. Right here in Sherwood East, Chirumanzu Zimbabwe constituency, children are walking more than 16 kilometers to access primary education and also more than 20 kilometers to access secondary education. However, with the intervention of the Zion Christian Church, the Diana Mafidi primary and secondary schools have come to life, supporting these children and also supporting the vision of His Excellency Dr. Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa of leaving no one and no place behind.
Kufara kuti aiwa Bishop Mtende vatitira zvakanaka, Mai Mwale vakatitira zvakanaka. We are expecting kuti next year kutanga kwaro vana stream yedu yekutanga grade 1 to 3 iri kuzodzidza. One of the classroom blocks already icomputer. Saka macomputers takasarira, ende zvinondirwadza kuti vana vedu vanonyora the same exam nevari kudzidza kuzvikoro zvepamusoro asi havana computer yacho, material yekudzidza yakakwana havana.
saka nikuuya kwaita mutende vachitibva vatigira vanoenda vachitanga nemakombiyutas aiwa shared yasumuka.
Parents and local leadership are applauding both the government and church for coming up with the state-of-the-art schools. Children were facing accidents as they were crossing Harare-Bulawayo Road, and also some of the children dropping out of school due to distance leading to teenager pregnancies.
Kufunga kwangu pakupa community land kuti kuvakwe chikoro kunyanya vana vechisikana vazhinji vanga vachingomanyira kuenda mumamarriages nokungoita zvisina nebasa rose nokuti vanenge vasingaendi kuchikoro, ruzivo vanenge vasina, uye kuti musha uvakwe mwanasikana ngaave nedzidzo, ngaadzidze kuti mhuri ivakike zvakanaka. Saka ndakapavo land kucommunity kuti tivakirwe chikoro neveZCC.
Vana vari kushayiwa zvikoro uye vana vanosangana nedambudziko rekutsikwa nemotikari vachikrosa road kuenda kuzvikoro, zvopa kuti mwana futi kunyange asvika kuchikoro haawani dzidzo yakakwana nechikonzero chekuti anenge aneta.
For ZTN Prime in Shield, Kwekwe, I'm Paddington Muguti.
Now, when Newsplus returns, we'll take a look at developments from around the world. Stay with us.
For 22 years, the old Arsenal artillery has lain silent and dormant, but the fuse is about to go boom!
Now, the Tanzania-Zambia Railway Tazara, which recently marked its 50th anniversary of commercial operation, has set up a photo exhibition in Dar es Salaam showcasing the memories from more than half a century ago, paying tribute to the Chinese friends who came from afar to help with construction.
This rail line, which started operation in 1976, contributed a lot in development of various towns and cities in Tanzania. It passes through the areas where there is no other means of transport. It helped to move, beside the domestic traffic, the traffic from neighboring country like Zambia, DRC, and there was time we moved cargo from South Africa and Zimbabwe.
Meanwhile, the death toll from the devastating floods in northern Nepal has climbed to 270, the Nepal police said in a statement. As many as 644 people have been reported missing. Among the missing are 127 Nepali nationals and 517 foreign tourists. Rescue teams have airlifted 305 people, while 7,451 security personnel have been mobilized for rescue operations. This comes after a massive flash flood swept through Nepal's Botekoshi River Wednesday morning, causing widespread damage. Officials said the local roads in Nuwakot were blocked due to this disaster. Rescue workers are carrying out emergency repairs and advancing further into the disaster-stricken area. Now, Newsplus returns with business developments.
For 22 years, the old Arsenal artillery has lain silent and dormant, but the fuse is about to go boom!
Today we open a new chapter, expanding our horizons, listing for the future. Old Mutual Limited is now on the Victoria Falls Stock Exchange.
Now, in our business developments, the Minister of Skills, Audit and Development, Dr. Jennifer Muskwede, says government is committed to utilizing a stakeholder approach to contribute to national skills development and reach a positive economic trajectory. This came out at a signing ceremony of the Memorandum of Understanding between the Ministry of Skills, Audit and Development and the National Chamber of Commerce this Thursday in Harare. The MOU will ensure for the establishment of a framework that includes an annual skills endeavor to narrow skills gaps in the country.
This MOU also ensures that we establish a framework in terms of an annual endeavor, a skills endeavor, where we have an opportunity to brainstorm, to discuss, to narrow the skills gaps, to deal with the gluts in terms of a supply-driven education system, but also to align our output in terms of the academia to the industry requirements, which then grows our economy. The MOU also underlines the importance of our cooperation as we work together in terms of joint skills sector analysis, in terms of a national responsibility, where we jointly provide resources.
The partnership signifies an agreement between industry, academia and government to redefine industrialization and implement a sector skills survey starting with the manufacturing industry.
The decision to pilot the sector skills survey in manufacturing is equally strategic. The survey will identify current and future skills requirements, gaps and mismatches, competency levels, and employer perspectives on the preparedness of graduates coming out of our academic institutions. The ZNCC will bring the voice of industry into this whole process.
Now up next is Sport News. In the world of football, FC Platinum coach Thabo Senong begins life in earnest at Mandava, where he leads FC Platinum into the Munumtapa Challenge Cup round of 16 clash against Blackrock this Saturday. The South African will be on the touchline for the second time after making a victorious debut in the league last week and hopes a good cup run might restore confidence at the club.
We are mindful that playing Division 1 teams is not easy. We've learned our lessons against Marere 2 weeks back. If you see how they really made life difficult for us, if you look at their playing intensity, so it is clear in our learnings that Division 1 teams play with a high tempo, lots of intensity, lots of energies. So it is important that we must first try to manage that. Cup games take a different psychological direction.
The Munumtapa Cup provides FC Platinum their only chance of silverware after crashing out of the Chibuku Super Cup at the hands of Scotland. Senong, who joined the club during mid-season, has moved to manage immediate expectations with focus on stabilizing the side and finishing well.
Our primary objective as a technical team that have just entered the club in the second part of the league is just to take care of players, because football is about players and we are player centered. So we are looking after the confidence of the players, we are looking after the injured players in terms of return to play protocol, but we are also looking at the lock position of the team, because we know what the team has achieved before. If you look at history, some excellent job that were done by previous coaches, the likes of Coach Mapeza.
Blackrock are hoping to carry on their fairy tale run in the Munumtapa Challenge Cup by claiming another big scalp when they take on FC Platinum in the round of 16 at Mandava this weekend. The Southern Region Soccer League side caused one of the biggest upsets in the first round by knocking out Highlanders and are hoping to pull another upset.
It's a cup game. Ilama surprises, but we are very excited. We are ready for them. Obviously, abantu abaningi bayabekhangelele kakhulu ukuthi iBlackrock yanuka down Highlanders. So ama-fans abaningi vele bayabekhangelele kakhulu ukuthi sizadlala njani igame langkhona.
Zimbabwe's senior women's handball team coach Tawanda Mapira says they're stepping up preparations for the final phase of the build-up to the International Handball Federation Nations Trophy, Africa Zone 6. The regional tournament is penciled for September 15 to 19, with the final squad now trimmed down to 21, who will resume a final camp in early September. The team has also launched a fundraising campaign for some traveling members and called for more support. Now, that's a wrap on Newsplus this very evening. Thank you for watching and have a good evening.